And we are live. What's up, bro? It's your boy Dre at Samurai Kennels, and I'm here with the legendary Brother Bach. You might know him as a co-host of Game Dog Talks. Brother Bach, you want to go and holler at him before I do the intro?
Well, definitely want to, first of all, appreciate the invite. You know, I love to see all of the brothers do their thing on these shows, and you're doing a great job from everything that I've heard and what other people have spoke, and that's beautiful. Like I said, I'm happy to be here, and I don't know we have anybody yet in the chat, but want to say hi to any of the chat members if they're not here or when they get here.
Absolutely, absolutely. So tonight, y'all, we're gonna be divulging the topic of what it means and what's a look into being a man. This is not going to be most necessarily geared toward the American Pit Bull Terrier. This can be more geared towards just developing yourself so that you're able to handle the situations that are going to be posed in your life. And with that being said, let me pay the sponsors with this intro.
This volume. Too many mind.
Too many mind?
Mind the school. Mind the people.
Let him go, Andre.
Mind the enemy. Too many mind.
All right, y'all. We're here with Brother Bach today. And Brother Bach, as the intro was going on, we started getting some members in there. So I'm going to give some member shout outs real quick.
Okay, brother.
First, I want to give a shout out to Mr. Biggs, man. Miss Williams. Absolutely. Miss Williams and Miss Williams, my wife and sister.
Williams. Okay. Good evening to Miss Williams.
Jeff Smith coming in with some hardware.
All right, brother Jeff.
And got Gilroy.
Okay, brother.
Got Brother Dreadlock in the building.
Brother Dreadlock.
Absolutely, man. Vinny, longtime supporter.
Oh yeah, Vinny, good dude.
We got Asiatic Soldier.
Asiatic Soldier. Familiar.
Absolutely. Hey, and the chat is getting popping right now, man. So I'm gonna go ahead and put up my little my membership thing right here, man. All the members there, y'all are on the screen. Want to show y'all some love directly, man. But Brother Bach, I wanted to share a story with you and kind of just rap with you because
okay.
I've been listening to you on Game Dog talking things, and
right.
I mentioned a couple weeks ago somebody had compared my style of delivery to that of Schoolboy, and I had mentioned that I kind of wanted to be mentored by somebody more like you, and the reason for that is Schoolboy and I are too complementary in our learning styles and teaching styles, and I feel like with my military background that you kind of give it to direct. You know, I was a drill instructor up until about 2 months ago. And so
good.
That's why I wanted to have you on here. And the topic I want to broach today is a look into the mind of a man.
Great topic. Are you asked is the question for me to answer, or are you still talking?
No, sir, I'm still talking. I'm gonna share a story with you.
Okay, I got you.
And then I want you to just cook. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Welcome to the chat, Brother Big A.
Hey, what it do, man? I'm late, but I'm still here. You know.
Yes, sir. Brother
Peace and good evening, my brother.
Hey, how you doing, man? What's going on?
I ain't got no complaints. I'm doing good. I'm here with the good brothers. I'm doing good.
Yes, sir. Can't call it, might spoil it, man.
Okay.
Yes, sir. So, Big A, I'm gonna share this story with Brother Bach, and then we're gonna just pontificate and just cook on this topic tonight about look into the mind of a man. And Brother Bach, the story I wanted to share with you specifically is the fact that when I was about 20 and I was fresh in the military, I called my mentors, my uncle, that had pretty much he was like my most solid father figure in that aspect. And I said, Uncle, I was like, I'm making money, I'm over 18, but like, how do you just know, like when you walk around, how did you just know you're a man? And he gave me the realest answer I could ever get. He said, nobody has to tell you when you're a man, you just know it.
Okay.
So with that being said, I kind of want to, because I've seen And if any of y'all follow brother Bach on any form of social media, y'all know he keeps a straight cut, straight deal. So I kind of want to get your perspective and your philosophies on, the man that you are.
Well, first of all, the question in terms of a person knowing they're a man, I mean, was in this that would have been real simple to define in the era that I was born in the 60s, 70s and 80s. I mean, we got so many different titles and labels today, with a lot of our young males out there, even some of the older males that are being defined by different uh, people in terms of what a man is, what's his role or responsibility. Is he truly a man? Does he feel like a man, or does he feel like a woman? It's kind of tripped up a lot today. Roles aren't the same as they were before. When I was raised up, a man was a maintainer, protection, provider. That was pretty much what we knew. And being a man, you would be doing. Um, with the way that it was set up, especially in our community, meaning the melanated community, with a lot of things that came in with the Welfare Act and the CIA dropping heroin in the 60s to really just divide our homes, with the males pretty much being outside to welfare and things of that nature. It messed up a lot of what young people were to become a man, because the responsibility of a woman, our women pretty much came up to where it looked like the man wasn't present. And you have a lot of feminine men today, not because they want to be, but because they was raised a lot by single mothers. And so telling a person what a man is based on them looking at what a strong black woman is, mostly in our community. I'm not saying across the board, because we got different race of people here, but I can only speak for pretty much, since the question was directed to me. What I had versus what a lot of the young brothers are growing up with today, which was a father, strong role model and father figure who worked every day, a hard worker, a disciplinarian, backed his wife, the wife backed the husband. So it was kind of pretty clear cut. But now most of the sisters have more education than the brothers. They a lot of them even have even higher paying jobs, which means some of the times the man has really felt like, what is his position? Because the woman makes more money, he has less say so in the house, you know, and most of them ain't even in the house a lot of times, just in our community. So far as what a man is, it's not going to be monolithic. It's going to be individuals, because everybody's going to have their own perspective of how they feel like being a man is. It can be from being a pimp to being a this to that. It's whether it's good or bad. How they see being a thug or whatever type of way they feel like to be a man, they see that being a man as. But like I said, it was just easier back then, and I can't speak for everybody across the globe on how, because I live outside of America now, and I see different family structures similar to ours, but mostly in the across when I went across, where if you was in the service, it's like the mother holds a big part in these places, where whatever the mother says, the children don't go against her. The father is more of a make sure that everything stays straight, but the mother has more of the role outside of the country. So it's a little different. But like I said, the man for me was being responsible, um, being respectful to self and others. Um, I as a husband, a father, mine was always to maintain, protect, and provide. As I can't really ever come off of those principles myself. I teach my sons the same thing. Some of my sons are grown and got their own families. So that's been traditionally taught by me, the same values, so, and they're doing the same. But in each household, they have a different, you know, perspective of what being a man is. You understand?
Yes, sir. So I'll tell you my why. My why for asking that question is this: there's a lot of game being given out about the husbandry and the legacy of the dogs we keep. But one of the things I hear consistently is bad business and unmanly like conduct within the brothers in the fraternity. And I feel that, excuse me, brothers of influence, when they give just a little small glimpse into the intangibles to make a good man, those help with the community. I'm not going to say it's going to make better dogs, but it'll make a better community where you can grow appropriately.
Okay.
And I wanted to go a little bit further with that. So with asking you specifically about a man, I hear you give very, very poignant thoughts on your show specifically about how you feel. And even when you just joking around, like you talking about some pussy, I'm like, that's some real shit. Like, like it's said in humor, but there's always a hint of truth to humor. And
of course.
Yeah. So could you go into a little bit more detail about as far as when you're giving humor, because the opposition or those with a different agenda, they'll do things like humorous, like putting a man in a dress to broach a subject of whatever they're trying to impede on the mind of the youth. So I'm trying to counteract that by bringing somebody in who I feel as a man with standards and just kind of talking on, for example, I'll give you an example. I open the door for my wife. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
What are some things that you see that are just common trends that are negated, like little actions that men can use?
Well, see, then we dealing with a lost woman too, man, in today's society. So we dealing with a lot of aggressive females today than it wasn't before. We dealing with more women caring to preach independence or wanting to deal with another woman, which is more so than any time in life. So a lot of men that want to be manly and open doors and do all of the things that a man should do for the women. Some of them feel like it's not cared for because of the independence of. I mean, once the women live came and kind of messed up our community because it got our women, which it was stupid because we and our women never had a problem when we came up in the slavery part of America. How did we have any divisiveness between each other? All we had was each other. So there was no reason for the melanated woman to separate and want to be independent from her man. We had to have each other's back. You understand? So when the woman's live came, it kind of took our woman and made her with this so-called independence. So you hear so many of our females saying they don't need a man. Okay? So it's kind of hard when you got a man that wants to have a woman and a lot of the women are being taught by other lost females. There's not a whole lot of big mamas in the house guiding their women. So, as much as the man got to get on top of his game, I mean, a lot of it's going to be still tripped up if the woman's messed up and the man's messed up. It's kind of hard to get even our relationship or even, because without the relationship that we had, especially in a heterosexual way, we don't have no goddamn family. And without a family, we don't have no community. So then that's what we fighting against now. And then with the LGBTQ coming in, and for some reason our people latching on to it like that's some type of other civil rights act, and we kind of taking the forefront of it, along with that and other. It's really our community just really in shambles, which means that the child that's coming up in a lot of the families, they don't really have a real goddamn role model, male or female, in the house. You know what I mean? So it's a big problem we're dealing with.
Yeah. Brother Big A, you want to chime in on that?
Nah, man, I was sitting there listening. Nah, he's hitting on all the good points. All good points. I would say this though, just like it's a lot of lost women, teaching lost women. That's the same thing on the men part. You know, it's just
Yes,
I think with us,
yes.
I think it's just a little more brutal with us because you know at a younger age we very aggressive. You know, especially you know, and you know, so I think it hits a little harder with men, but it's still the same thing two times two. You know.
Hey, so brother Bot, brother in the chat said a lot of this stuff is taught in these schools these days, and
Brother
that's
Dreadlock's correct.
yeah.
He's correct. I mean, well, look at the bullshit that's going on right now. Saying that slavery somehow was good for us because it taught us trades. You know, so and they want that in the school system. They pushing that in Florida. And again, I don't want to make this show about um uh any type of color. The only reason I'm speaking this way because you asked me about me personally, so I can only speak from who I am and what I was raised in as a brother, as a melanated man. You understand? But I'm sure our brothers and sisters from every race is experiencing some form of something going on in their own community. You understand? But I'm just saying that the school system is already, the curriculum is already messed up. I mean, and me being a college grad with a degree in psychology, um, the tests, a lot of the things I can go on and on. I mean, there's a lot of things that goes messed up in our school system that is almost messed up to fail on a lot of things. So most, you know, like test taking itself, different things that we speak, we have different things that we do and say, and then you have a curriculum that's it's got so much bull crap in it. It's ridiculous. So, but I mean, even what they're teaching now, the children with the gender, like I mean, even with the stuff with the children that 4 or 5, 6 years old, talking about they have a choice of what gender they want to be, and they teaching that in schools, and it's so much crap. I wouldn't send my child to school today. All my children, if I had a child, would be in homeschooling because I wouldn't have them even for the social part where you would want your children socialized. No, even that would be restricted because I would have my children around those that I feel is going to be conducive to the way I'm bringing my child up. And whatever they want to become, if that's what they wanted to do on a gender basis, they would have had that when they got older. It wouldn't be nothing that I would allow them to be messed up younger or even allowed to be in gangs. Like I didn't come up in gangs. A lot of them wanted me in the gangs. I wouldn't get in. I mean, preach that to my own children. Like, so a lot of the gang stuff, and then some of the gang stuff was kind of, you know, some of the people that was in it would feel like it was needed because there wasn't no other male figure. So to have any other male figures that they felt like they can get love and some type of what a man would be, they kind of gravitated to. So, you know, sometimes, you know, we want to jump on, man, these gangs, and the gangs are killing our community hard. But it's hard to tell somebody that you shouldn't belong to a gang when that's the only real family they feel like they got, because the one at home is messed up. And not on all cases. I'm not saying in all the place in our community we go through this, but I'm just saying in a lot of places we are, you know. And so even if you want a nice home, you still gonna be subjected to dealing with what everybody else got to deal with because that's not just a one area where we sit in. We go out in places and we do things that we felt like this is what the way we show our loyalty and love. And a lot of it is love. A lot of our children, I mean, since the crack epidemic, you know, you're talking about a lot of children didn't have no love. You're talking about this generation is very violent. It's gonna be violent when you coming up seeing your mother around there giving head to your best friend and all that stuff, and ain't no food on the table. These children had to go out in the streets and get it. So they the ones up here now. You can't tell these people nothing when they came up in a struggle that most people can't even understand. You understand? So it's a whole lot of stuff that's gonna go on, man. It's a lot. It would take something catastrophic to get us as our community back on track because that's how far we are off. And then you got different things, or even with you got so many YouTube things with the women saying, like I said, F the men, and we got the men saying F the women. I'm sitting up here like, what type of crap is it? I love my woman. I don't know what y'all talking about. You know what I'm saying? We need our women.
Yeah.
Hell, you know what I'm saying? I don't want you brothers. I want our women. And that's what, you know, so we need more shows promoting love and that heterosexual love going on, so we can continue to have our community flourish and grow, rather than so many things we dealing with in our community today. So all that's going to affect how, like I said, as far as being a man is concerned, we got a lot of work to do to try to even get that back on track.
Man, that's a very poignant topic, Brother Bach. And I appreciate you sharing your credentials, because I didn't want to throw all your business out there, man. Anybody who follows you knows about your degree and everything. But I'm glad you shared that, because we got agents in our community who, if you don't have a certain credibility, you know, you got to be a preacher that's been through seminary to be in the pulpit, or you got to be a man of a certain caliber to even speak to them. And I'm glad you have the credentials to back up everything that you're saying, because it's statistically proven that everything you said is backed by some kind of theory, right?
Well, I mean, let me say this. There are more intelligent people in our hoods than anybody I went to college with and professors. Yeah, I got a degree dealing with some things like that, but I tell anybody, the smartest people I ever met never went to college. Didn't even finish high school. You know, so I mean, just us living, you know, just those who have common sense, I would take over those with a degree. They go a lot further, you know. So it's the degrees is fine, but I've been around a whole lot of ignorant people with degrees. That degree is, you know, it just means you're able to retain the knowledge you was, and then take a test and then pass it. That don't make you no smarter than nobody else in a lot of cases. So I appreciate that I have what mine is coming from, actually living from the hood in the cities, and also being around those middle class and rich neighborhoods as well. But I mean, you know, but it would come more from that than say because my degree is in community mental health. So it would be deal with more or less on the mental illness, which is truly affecting our community as well, because we feel like we don't want to seek any mental help, like that's a bad thing. Whereas our brothers and sisters from the Caucasian race, they don't mind saying they got to go see a shrink, and it's looked upon as good. So a lot of problems in our community, like I said, is mental health as well. But that's another topic. But yeah, you go ahead.
So I was gonna I'm gonna bring Brother Big A in on this one as well. Big A, I don't know if you will, but if you would share about the flashcards, you know, the financial literacy flashcards you've been doing, if you don't mind sharing that with the crowd.
So yeah, man. For us, I can speak on generations upon generations. You know, at least on my end of us not really being financially literate. You know, running through money. You know, and doing, just doing stupid things, or, you know, that we could be doing better with our money. So I started studying about, you know, finances and really getting into it. And then I started getting my daughter into it, and she's 9 years old. She's been doing it for about maybe about a year, a little less than a year. But you know, I have a process to where, like, I don't pay, like a lot of parents pay their children for doing chores. I don't pay her for doing chores, because shoot, nobody paid me to do chores, you know, as an adult. So you know what I'm saying, it's not, to me, it's not practical. So what I have her do is I have her self-educate. So, you know, we go through and we pick out books or whatnot. And for every book that she reads, I'll pay her, you know, like $60. And then and all the books that she reads have to be, you know, something of some form of education. And just so happens she did pick up on the financial bit. So she reads a lot of financial books. And when she reads a book, she has to write a little summary on each chapter, and then at the end write a little report. And then she takes every week. She does like she learns 2 new financial words. You know, and then we quiz her on it every day. So she's getting pretty good at it. But just projecting that on our kids, man, to be, it's really you like just like Bob was saying, man. It's more smart people outside of college than they are in college, man. If you can self-educate and you can make that like your second wind, like it's your second breath, something that you do naturally, you'll always grow. So just trying to get that implemented into your child's, DNA, to keep growing and keep pushing, in that way, man. And then, handling finances and learning everything about finances at a young age, man, you'll make a lot less mistakes as you get older,
Yeah. So I wanted to share this with y'all, man. I learned this today. I've been in seminars all week, man, getting ready for this new position I'm taking over. And one of the things they talked about was like the 401k strategy and stuff. And I mean, like, given if the government holds out until that point, one of the things that was mentioned was investing in why you need more than just Social Security or disability or these things. So I wanted to share that with y'all tonight. So Social Security was only implemented to give you about 40% of what your actual required income would be. And one of the questions that was broached or was mentioned was, what does your retirement look like? What does it look like when you no longer have to work? And I immediately text my wife and like, babe, like we need to discuss this. I don't need to just assume that I know what retirement looks like for me. We together in this. And so one of the things we were talking about was investing and how the difference between a Roth or a basic, a 401k, and all these things. And it sounds like a lot of jargon, but at the end of the day, investing for about 10 years can set you up with a nice thing to leave behind with your family. But also looking at insurances, and like all my kids have insurance. My kids be doing some dumb shit. And so all my kids have a nice life insurance policy. So all of them, I love them to death. I'm gonna do everything I can to protect them. But you can't protect a human being for itself unless it wants to protect itself. So that being said, make sure you're insuring the things that are valuable to you, and make sure you have the things in place that if something happens to you, that your family is taken care of. And that's all part of being a man.
Yeah, man, that's one of the first things that I learned, man, when I really started looking into it, man. I read this book by Jim Cramer called Mad Money. It was about maybe 2007, but the first chapter he said something real heavy, man. He was like, no matter what, you can't save money if you don't have insurance. I don't care if you got $1 million cash right now, you got a good job in the whole nine, get sick and you can't work and you got a heavy medical bill and in the whole nine. So insurance is very important, highly important.
Hey, y'all brothers mind if I do a small plug in for a good brother that sent me a shipment of hides?
Hook it up, brother.
All right, so I got these from the good brother. Damn, I don't want to tell you a lot. Jeremy Goodwin. Jeremy Goodwin on Facebook has these hides, man, and these are good size sheets. I use this size sheet for everything from spring. Hush, the dog can see the hide. I use these from everything from spring poles, and I cut it into quarters for flirt poles, or sometimes I'll just cut it in half and tie it up in the yard and just let them pull on it, the improvised spring pole. But the brother got these for $5. I was telling y'all, I can't beat those. What I do is I do stock up on them, because when brothers are letting them go, I buy a lot of them. So he sent me 10 for $75, man. It can't beat that price, man. That's shipping included, So I wanted to plug that brother in and let him know. Also, Vinny, I know you in the chat. Vinny, yours are on the way. All my members and stuff like that. I told y'all we got the back chat and everything. But yeah, brother Vinny, your stuff is on the way, man. That being said, I'm gonna pitch you back over to you, brother Bach, and I kind of wanted to get your take on the getting involved in the Digital Dog Show from your perspective, maybe hosting it one day. How do you feel about that?
I'm sorry. Repeat that. I couldn't hear you that clear.
So I want to get your take on having you possibly host one of our future digital dog shows. Going hard is taking care of us on this one, but I kind of want to get y'all's involvement over there.
Anything I can do to help, brother. Just call me.
Man,
I'm with it. Anything.
Y'all heard that. Y'all heard that here first, man. Brother Bach, we appreciate you, bro.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys. We all family, bro. We help one another.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Brother Bach, also I've seen your logo on your Facebook for a long time. Is there any way we can buy some of your like your apparel, your stuff, your propaganda? Let me correct that. Your items, your clothing items, and your hats and stuff like that to support your cause.
I haven't. Well, I had some shirts made, and they ran out, so I got to make some more. When I put them up, because that's what Schoolboy was saying, man, you got to sell. I'm like, I had some shirts, they sold out soon as I had them, so I had to get some more. I'm gonna make up some more because Brother Kev made me up some nice different logos, so I'm gonna get some more shirts done like those. So, but yeah, that wouldn't be a problem at all. But at the moment, I just had to get some made up.
Hey, absolutely. So when you do, let me know. Also, Brother Bach, when we get off the live, stay in the back chat for just a little bit, man, because I want to help you out with that. If I can be of service at all, I want to be of service, man, and help out with that.
Oh, that's much love. Appreciate it, brother.
As far as the Only in America thing, can you talk about that? Because I don't know the backstory on that. Can you kind of educate me
on how I came up with the name?
Yeah, because yes, sir. And I saw a movie a couple years back, maybe 10 years ago now, Bloods and Crips Made in America. And so I know it's not the same as It's Only in America, but I kind of want to get your take on that and your ideology behind it.
Excuse me. Down here eating these fish. Well, my thing came up with Only in America in terms of the Don King thing, the way he was hooking shows. I mean, hooking different fighters up at the time. I said, well, that's what I'm about, going into any and everybody throughout America at the time. So I just took on that same hookup. So instead of like Don, who was actually not a fighter himself, but putting fighters together, I was just putting myself into, taking my dogs into anybody. But that's pretty much how I came up with the Only in America Kennels hookup. But that was all of that. I mean, was it something else that you wanted to know in terms of?
No, it was. So I always like to know the why. Everybody wants to know how you did it. How did you do this? But they don't understand your why, because the why is the motivation and the how is the discipline. And if you have one without the other one, it's not going to be as successful, right?
That's right.
Another thing I wanted to ask you about is, so Brother Big A and I, Big A has been around my dog Saki a lot.
Okay.
And I wanted to talk to you about your dog, historically speaking, Tyrone, right? And I wanted to ask you not about any of performance things, but about personality, because and I'll share this with you and I'll give you an example of what I'm talking about, the kind of things I want you to broach. So I had a pure Mims bred dog named Psycho back in 2008, right? And she was a monster, legitimately one of the best dogs I've ever owned, right? But her personality, she was a skittish dog that it took me a month to be able to touch her, right? Because I bought her as an adult.
Right.
It took me a month of just feeding this dog, and her, like, first she would growl at me and run in her doghouse. Then after about a week and a half, 2 weeks, she would come out to the edge of the chain spot until I got close enough with the food, and then she would wait for me to finish pouring the food in her bowl, and then when I backed away, she would eat. And, by the third week, I could touch her, but you could literally see her muscles tense when I would touch her. And then by the end of that month, she would allow me to actually, like, she had accepted me, as her leader, right? And I kind of wanted to just know about the life cycle of Tyrone, because one of the things I think goes overlooked with dogs is their personalities and how it's complementary to you as a person. You mind divulging that a little bit to us?
No problem. Okay. Well, one of the reasons, of course, Tyrone was my favorite dog of all times. I mean, today I still miss him. The only solace I get is that due to the people that I gave different ones to, all sons of his, that I pretty much told them the traits because some of them never saw Tyrone go. Um, well, matter of fact, everybody's seen Tyrone go except for Medicine Man that I gave sons to. So I was pretty much trying to tell the traits of what he was. Tyrone was a bully. He was the only male in his litter with sisters. He was a rapist. He just wanted to rape males or females. That was his main thing. He really wasn't a killer that he appeared to be. Only way he was a killer is if you made him hurt somewhere. Then he would want to kill you. But other than that, he pretty much just dominated and would want to have sex with the male after the male curves out. So we always had to make quick handles until he was 3 years old. So his intention was never to kill nothing until he was 3. At 3, he didn't want to hump no more afterwards. He just wanted to kill you. So when you get a lot of the Tyrone males, when you know you got a real one, they're going to be very sexually wanting to rape and hit anything. You know, they're very, very alpha-like, even the females or male-ish. Very intelligent. You didn't have to do nothing but holler at them. They were like humans. Tear up and could be 2-3 hours sometimes before they'll let you tell them it was okay. So they very intelligent. They're one owner dogs. That's what we like about it. They cool with children, everybody, but I mean after they get 3, they get a little funky. Way more territorial. Will do anything for you. I mean that's why we still had a blood. Is because they're very, very loyal dogs and want to please you. You know, super intelligent, along with them being very rough animals. I really, and a person, and by me not being kennel blind, because anybody knows me, I had Jeep, Red Boy, Bolio, all different types of bloodlines. But the reason that I use the Tyrone blood in terms of the glue that holds everything is that I never want to get past their intelligence, their bulliness, their roughness. For the most part, they're finishers. So I definitely never wanted to. I want finish over anything, as many people have heard me say. And they take that, the heart to finish. So those traits is what I love the most. But if it's anything, is their smartness and their common bond they want to have with the one person. It can be 15 people in the house they can wag their tail with, but it's that one person like these dogs will do anything for.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hey, Big A, you want to chime in on that? Because those are some of the traits you're looking for.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, I'm just taking it in, man. I'm over here at this job, man, trying to juggle 2 things at one time, man. It's I'm back here soaking up game.
Yeah, man. It's good game too. So what I do like about that is you had a purpose for your dogs, because like I said, man, I can't sit here and reiterate everything you say on Game Dog Talk, because that I want people to support that platform. That's why I wanted you on here, because there's some squares in here, and I like my square bears. You know what I'm saying? That's one of the things I want to share is a real dog man should be able to deal with a square bear, and a square bear should be able to deal with a real dog man, because the commonality is they both are here for the improvement of the breed, right?
That's right.
But I also wanted to say that when you talked about Tyrone's personality, and you said the females were smart like that too, I wanted to ask: are any of your females so dominant that they would hump other dogs as well?
Yeah.
Could you hear me, brother Bob?
I don't know what happened.
All right, so I'm gonna make sure he good, but
Yeah.
so brother Bach is working on his end right now, y'all. But Y'all just put a pin in that right there. Because I have a female right now. The puppy I have right now, she will hump objects as a female. Just out of
Yeah.
curiosity. Yeah, she will. Yeah.
Wow.
She's showing a lot of the signs that I wanted to see. Party
Yeah.
Boy Woods, what's good, big dog? Welcome to the chat, bro. Let me go ahead and throw this back up here. Party Boy Woods, I couldn't mess it up this week, man, because I just went ahead and copied it straight off YouTube. So I got your name right, bro. Got your name right.
Yeah.
For those of y'all brothers who just joined in the chat, Brother Bach, you back?
Yeah, I'm back.
All right, so Brother Bach, I wanted to ask you about your female dogs. Yes, sir.
Wait a minute. For some reason, I had got a call and knocked me off, but it's like I'm up here twice. Let me see.
I pulled it.
I'm trying to see without the echo. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, I'm up here twice or once.
So I kicked the other profile out.
Good. There we go. Thank you. Okay, now what was your question? I'm sorry.
So my question was about your females because the Tyrone gene is so strong and so prepotent that I was asking, did you have any females that would do the same thing? Because I have a female puppy now that will hump stuff when she feels like she's dominated it.
Yeah, I mean, you get that through different lines. I mean, it's just not just the line of the Palin and stomping out stuff that we use mostly. It's you get it through the Tex-Mex stuff. You get it from everything. I've seen a lot of the females that like that, but like I said, just the number one thing, regardless of the gender, with the blood, is that they just truly one owner dogs, and they do whatever you want. They really try to please you to the utmost.
So, I got a question. So, when you were in the process of coming across Tyrone, was that something that you did on purpose, or was it something throughout the breeding process? It just so happened to just meld together and work.
I'm trying to understand your question. What you said when I came across Tyrone?
So what I'm saying is, like the characteristics of Tyrone.
Mm-hmm.
Did you purposely put those characteristics together, or did something just meld together in the process that just clicked?
Oh, I can't take no credit. I didn't breed Tyrone.
Yeah, no, I'm saying,
No.
but in the process of Tyrone being
No.
created, okay.
Mm-mm. I didn't. I can't take any credit for Parker's creation.
Right.
I was just blessed to get him at 2 years old. When I got him, he was already destroyed everything I seen him roll against except for Dirty Red. When I said at a year old, I went and gave $5 for him because he couldn't. They went over an hour and he never even laid his teeth on champion Dirty Red.
Okay, so but you said Tyrone was the glue. So
He's a glue to my to the breeding program that I run. I'm saying that I would use that to cross. Put it this way. Like I said, I don't really do pedigrees in terms of in terms of going with this particular line with this particular line and this and that and that. I deal with traits. That's it.
and like what's working and what's not working, right? Or
it's just I mean, listen, everybody in the game has their own perspectives and their own desires and likes. Other than that, the whole game would have had the same dogs, dogs. But so because this person wants a Jeep Red Boy dog, this one wants a Red Boy Jocko dog, this one wants a Zebo, that's what made the game lovely, is because everybody had their own picks on what they wanted, right?
Right.
So with me, my thing was always, if I got a very powerful, hard mouth, finishing, seem to be pretty game dog, then I'm looking for the same dogs. I don't care how they bred. And I mean, of course, I don't want no street dog, you know what I'm saying? But I mean, it's not like I'm like, well, I won't take a a termite this dog, or I won't know. What is that dog, and what is the parents behind it, and what is the line doing? So long
Right.
as there's a family doing the same similar stuff, then that's what I want. So that's what
Right.
I do. So I keep the traits together now, being as though I didn't breed all of these dogs throughout the years because they were pretty much in different guys' hands, and certain breedings that was made. They it crossed some of the things they wanted into it, but for the most part, I was still big in that and telling them which way to breed, which way to take it to keep keep it without falling from what is good at. Because if you lose what it's good at, then you don't have nothing no more. What it was is no longer there. So
Right.
you get what I'm
That's
saying?
kind of
So
what I was. That's kind of what I
right,
was trying to touch on was like pretty much moving forward, and you know, the breeding process. What would you do to being that Tyrone was the glue, and you're looking for dogs with similar traits.
it has to
Um,
right. Yeah,
w-
same
you know,
same traits. It has they have to have the same traits.
right,
That's all. That's
right,
all it has to have. And then after I check them. Of course, if I breed into another dog, and if I see any lack of finish, um, any of the loyalty and the devotion that they show through the line, then I would just get rid of the whole line that I tried to use. And
and
then I would never breed. I wouldn't care how good the offspring was. I would not breed that back into. So that would
and
be it.
how many times would that happen? If you could, just throw a number out there where
It's
you
never
had to
happened.
discard.
It's never happened with me because every breeding I made works.
Right,
You get what I'm saying?
right,
Because I don't just breed to anybody. I mean, not trying to sound arrogant, but I know people all over the world. I'm getting
right,
offered dogs and frozen semen from everybody, and I appreciate the love, right? But I don't want nothing unless that family of dogs is similar to mine,
right. And
and it
yeah,
has to show the same traits. So I don't have what you call like. Of course, nobody can say what a litter is going to be with full guarantee. But
right,
it's just about guaranteed that I know pretty much is what's gonna come out based on the dogs from the other family. We share similarities, so there should be no reason for that those traits to break. You understand? Because it's not like I'm taking. Let's just say, for instance, there's a badass dog, and it reminds me of Tyrone. I say, well, I want to breed that. That's not how I do stuff, because the parents behind there might not have any of the stuff that dog has. You understand? So that wouldn't do me no good. That's just that doesn't mean that dog will even throw itself or throw what I'm looking for. So I wouldn't do that. I would rather breed to a sorrier dog that comes from a family that does what I like and has the same traits, even if that dog itself wasn't the greatest at it, but comes from a family that is. Because the blood is what I'm looking for in terms of that. But yeah, I stay within the traits, bro.
yeah. I appreciate that, man. That was a great answer. That's what I was looking for. Yeah,
Right.
Hey,
yeah.
so y'all brothers, I'm gonna redirect this conversation to another thing because this is something, brother Bach, and you don't have to answer this tonight, bro. But I did want to bring it up to you so that I know that it's being here because Schoolboy's in here, going hard is in here, man.
Oh,
All the
what's up to the good brothers? Going hard, the twins, and live life real, and brother Richard.
yes, sir, yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Hey,
Big
so
shout out.
earlier back in like January, February, I talked about having a gathering of the people, right? And mind you, Mr. Tom Garner had one of those, man. But honestly, I see y'all's panel as being a catalyst for change. And one of the things I talked about was mind you, I'm a nerdy brother, so I've been to some Comic Cons, and at a Comic Con, if for those of y'all who don't know what a Comic Con is, they take all your video games, all the Mario Brothers, all that shit, all the games has been out, and they have people as the characters and all that bullshit. Now I don't care about no having nobody dressed up in no fucking outfits, whatever. But what I'm looking at is to come up with a way to get all the legends out in multiple locations, man. I kind of want to just brainstorm with you about that and talk about like the cost benefits analysis of that, because the benefits is I would get to finally meet you in person, brother, and shake your hand and say, hey man, like, hopefully get that picture with you. You know what I'm saying? But
Right.
But the last thing I wanted to share with you was this. All right, so when I went to Comic-Con in Atlanta, right, it cost me $50 fucking to take a picture with the blue fucking Power Ranger. Now, mind you, I thought this motherfucker was dead. Okay, so because I thought he had committed suicide. When honestly, what ended up happening with him was he's gay. You know what I'm saying? And so I didn't notice at the time, but what happened was they wrote his ass off the show and got another blue Power Ranger. But the Blue Ranger was always the smart Ranger. You know what I mean? And long story short, what I'm getting at is these venues, I need the brothers in the chat to spread the word that if we're going to do these venues, nothing in life is free. All right? Nothing in life is free. And I would say, I would make my $50 contribution to y'all's chat or to the Cash App or whatever to make sure that y'all can be there. That's my job. Once I make that contribution, that shows that I have the deliberate effort to get y'all to where I want y'all at. You know what I mean? Or even if it's at Schoolboy's show, when Schoolboy does his show, if it's a brother on the East Coast that's in these chats consistently, I'll do a drawing to get that brother out there, or sell some t-shirts, sell a couple fucking t-shirts, get that brother out there so we can fellowship appropriately. But what I want from you, Brother Bach, is a venue that would be suitable for you to be in your comfort zone, where you can be around the people, because there's some fucking weirdos out here.
Well, let me just say this. 9 out of 10, I'm not leaving my beautiful females here in Honduras to come outside to do the show. I hate to say, I don't want to sound like a party pooper, but I will gladly hope that y'all have fun doing it without me. It's just like I see all the good brothers with that Tom Garner's thing. Beautiful pictures I've seen by a lot of well-known good dogmen, because there's so many. You understand? And but I'm waiting on Going Hard and them to come down here with me. So if they there, I ain't forgot about y'all now. Y'all supposed to be coming to visit. That's what I'm waiting on. I'm waiting on them to come this way. But like I said, as far as the rest of the brothers there, I'm sure that's something that you will be able to accommodate. I'm sure that can easily happen, because a lot of the people in the fraternity would love to gather for a lot of things. Like I was trying to get everybody to even with Going Hard them, because I had wanted a lot of them to do something, with them. You know what I mean? That I thought would really be nice and special. So it's been planned, but it hasn't really been anything that really took all the way off. So that's something that maybe we can get together with Twins and Kev and different ones to see if we can, pull that off, because that would really be nice.
So, and I appreciate that. That's clear and clean cut. So I got a family member. He's a passport bro, and I'm getting my passport. I'm not saying I'm coming to Honduras, but I know he wants me to go with him to the Dominican Republic to holler them over there, man. And also the twins are in the chat. Twins said he coming. I believe that's brother Mike down there in the chat.
Okay. All right, brother.
Brother Bach, I wanted to say thank you, because your presence has brought out it's like a stink bait for fish, man. You brought out a lot of legends in the chat, and brothers in the chat, man. Y'all go ahead and ask some questions to these great legends in the chat and the Brother Bach, because this conversation is clearly for the edification of manhood and just development and a fellowship here within the fraternity.
If I could say something, if you don't mind.
Go ahead.
Well, first of all, I just want to say something, and I don't say things that I don't feel. I truly appreciate your intellect and the new school vibe you feel like that. I feel like you give off. It's refreshing. Again, like I said, we talk dogs, but it's beautiful that you have a platform that you have that we were able to discuss something that's other than dogs, which a lot of times we try to do on 78. That's why you'll hear me say go off into the little sexual thing. Well, of course, most men love women, so. But I do that just to break away a little bit from the dogs. But with the things that you're discussing, we need more of this. It's cool to talk dogs, but the things that you wanna implement, even what you were just saying earlier, I hear it all. Is definitely refreshing. Like I talked with Boone, he taught Richard different. I'm sure you talked with Twin and them. So it's good. It's really good what you're doing. And like I said, we definitely appreciate intellect along with you have compassion and everything I can hear. So just want to let you know that it's very refreshing.
Hey man, that means a lot, man. And I like how y'all brothers keep it strong and what I want to get to this. So the reason why I talk about manhood is after being a drill instructor, I realized that a lot of young men want to be hard. They want, and I tell them all the time when they graduate BMT, basic military training, you're born again hard now. Like, you know what it's like to say what you mean and mean what you say. But I'd say 90% of those guys that come through there, they don't. And it reverts back to the thing you were talking about earlier with being raised by a lady. And no offense to no woman, but women's emotion is just as valid as logic. Whereas a man's emotions are second to logic.
Correct.
And so a lot of those brothers, they want to be good. And I'm blessed enough to have brothers like you and Schoolboy and Going Hard and all the brothers in the chat, Jeff Smith, Eli Monster. Y'all brothers y'all given me the mentorship that I wish all the young brothers could get. And I feel like it's a fallacy for me not to broach and have some of these conversations publicly for their benefit.
Oh, it's definitely, like you said, it's definitely some real good brothers, man, in the fraternity, very intelligent brothers, and women as well. A lot of times, a person thinks of people, of course, they look at anyone that's in the dogs as savages. And then you have some in the game that, you want to get the negative, and it's, you can't get that out of it. That's in anything. It's not just in our fraternity, but in anything, it's gonna be the backbiting, the negative lies, things people will say to try to bring somebody down, to bring themselves up. That happens throughout life, but for the most part, in our game, I've met a lot of good people. Of course, you're gonna have the bullshitters, the liars, the a whole bunch of other stuff, but a lot of good guys is in the game, man. And even, like I said, so hearing yourself with the dogs, it just makes feel good that it's people that have something else on their head other than negatively trying to downplay or talk or bring about false rumors, any other things to the game. You understand? So keep doing a good job, brother.
Nah, I appreciate you. Last thing, because I'm gonna get my brother Big A back in here too, but I wanted to tell you this specifically because you gave me some game about 4 months ago when y'all first started Patreon that if I'd had this is neither confirmed nor denied, but if I'd had this information back in like a lot years ago, you mentioned that you would tell people you had one type of animal because they would just take it at face value when really you had this kind of animal. And anybody who knows me knows I deal with heavily Chinaman Frisco dogs.
Mm-hmm.
And you said exactly what I was thinking. So anybody who has been following my channel from the beginning knows I talk a lot of trash about Red Boy Jocko dogs. But I'll have y'all know I only owned Red Boy Jocko dogs for my first 20 years because that's what my family runs in North Carolina. It's Red Boy Jocko dogs. It was only once I was exposed to a dog. I didn't even go to buy a Chinaman Frisco dog. I went to buy a half brother that was bred 50-50 Red Boy Jocko to Chinaman Frisco. And I saw the dog and I was like, man, y'all gonna let that dog die. And he ended up being one of the best dogs I had. He was a heavy Maverick Frisco stuff with a Red Boy Jocko on top. And I was embarrassed to tell people because like my family had raised me to hate everything that wasn't Red Boy Jocko. And so when you said that was I'll tell you this. I'll explain it this way. There's a poem by Mary Ann Williamson, and she talks about, our greatest fear is not that we're inadequate, but it says, as we're liberated from our own fears, we unconsciously liberate others. And that's what you did when you had that conversation on Game Dog Talks. I was like, you know what? I'm not as wrong as I thought I was. It's just my family is so kennel blind to Red Boy Jocko.
Well, here's my thing, right? Like Maurice Carver, who's my favorite dog, man, as far as legendary dog, man. People get so caught up on, I don't know, we come in the era now too, where everybody's so attention seeking and wanting to tell all. I don't understand the reason for me wanting everybody to know what I'm using. You know what I'm saying? That just, people can go on Pairs Online and look up there. That Pairs Online don't mean shit. Ain't nothing up there official. Nothing. Anybody can go write a ped, even off my dogs up there. It's fake. People ask me, well, when did you breed? I'm like, I didn't breed that shit. I don't even know who that is. You understand? So a lot of people want to show, like I said, and I get them, and I don't want to, want nobody who sends me pairs all day to think that I look at them a certain way. It's just that because they actually want me to see their pad, which is fine. It's commendable. But a lot of people showing everybody their pads, and I'm like, why are you showing them what you have? It shouldn't be nobody's business, really. So a person say, well, Bach, you hate Red Boys. I hate Red Boy dogs. I would never own one. But damn, if you go look at my old page, you'll see that I had pure Red Boy Jeep dogs. You understand? So you would know I was lying. I'm not here to tell the truth to strangers. The truth is only being told to those that's closest to me need to know. Other than that, I may tell you anything. Seriously. Because it's none of your business. If you ain't with me and we ain't close, it's none of your business what I got. Just being honest.
And I appreciate that. Brother Big A, I don't know if you understand our voice, because my brother's at work right now. But Brother Big A, I did kind of want to get your take on that too, because one of the things we discussed and one of our me and Brother Big A used to walk my dogs together, right? And so one of the things we discussed was, I think there's remedies, or certain bloodlines were created as the antidote to other bloodlines.
Yeah. And what's the question exactly?
So a lot of times when I mention questions on here, I have to dwindle them down, because I leave them abstract so you can cook as you want to cook. But what I was getting at was, one of the bloods that I mentioned to you on our walk was Red Boy Jocko versus G Red Boy Rascal, right? And I was saying, to me, that's the answer to a Red Boy Jocko dog, personally. And it's historically speaking, nothing current. But just looking at the eras that those breedings were occurring in, the white tab stuff versus the yellow stuff, that's what I see. And I kind of want to get your take on that, Brother Big A.
I mean, my take is pretty much lined up with yours. I mean, to be honest, man, you kind of put me on to it. You kind of opened my eyes to it, because I really wasn't all that hip. And when we had those conversations, man, that's pretty much what I got out of it. Yeah, pretty much. I pretty much started looking into that stuff as soon as you did. We got to talking about it.
All right, that's fair. So, Brother Bach, I know you said you didn't care for him, and I know you divulged this on Game Dog Talk, but there's some people on my platform that haven't been on Game Dog Talk, because I deal with a lot of square bears. Would you talk about maybe why you would say what you say about the Red Boy Jocko dogs?
Like I said, how when you were little, and we was liking a girl in class, but we was really didn't know how to go about it, so we might smack the hell out of her, pinch her, or anything. We started that way, but we really want to be her boyfriend. But we really didn't tell the truth about our actions, because we was We either didn't want nobody to know it, or somebody was fearful of letting somebody know what they had, or whatever the situation. Well, it's the same way. If a person say, okay, Bach uses Carver Eli dogs, which is primarily what I use. So then a person start trying to size up. Well, but we can get past 45 minutes, under an hour. We can get him over an hour. We got a chance of beating him. Didn't know that everything that you think is not it, because I got red boy dogs in my dogs. I tell people I ain't looking to be game. You can't believe shit. I'm talking to the enemy. Why would I want to tell the enemy the truth? So I'm gonna go into my competition and tell them exactly the truth. Hell no. You the enemy. I'm telling you all lies and hoping you absorb all of them. Okay? So why do I feel the need to talk to my opposition and show him what I got? It makes no sense. It's stupid. And I see a whole lot of stupidity going on today. People want to show this is what I got. For what? Not saying nobody's fighting dogs, but I'm just saying, period. Some people are jealous. Somebody want to go buy the same stuff. They might want to peddle it and sell the same dog. You got whatever it is, right? Why feel the need to tell anybody what you have who is not in your innermost closest circle to knowing which your dogs are? No reason. I don't see it, but shit, everybody wants to. Oh, look. Oh, this is so. And got the real pet up there. Got the real pet. Somebody say, okay, great. Well, I had the sister that, the brother. I can tell that joint couldn't take a nose joint. It can't take the ear. But why would you do that? No, you send them a wrong ass pet with a wrong ass everything. Okay? And then you be with something else. That was my thing. I never forget, I went into Connie. When I beat Connie Ham the first time, it was in 2 minutes. We beat the Connie Hams again in 19 minutes. So they came up saying, oh, we thought you were bringing this dog. What? You ain't get paid to think, goddammit, what I was bringing. You gonna lose your money because of what you brought. That's why you great lose. And he did again. So it ain't for you to know what I'm bringing. All I do is weights and dates. You don't care what I show up with. You understand what I'm saying? But he was believing what we were showing up with. No. It's none of your business. How it's bred, how it ain't bred, nothing. So that's what I'm saying. If you are not in my closest, you can go up and look at anything. Good luck if it is what you think it is. That's all I tell you. Go on and take a peek at it. Hope you knock yourself out, because the truth lies with me alone.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hey, so I wanted to welcome your fellow panel member to the chat, Brother Schoolboy. Welcome to the chat.
School.
Hey, how you doing? Thank you. What's up,
There
Bot?
he is. What's up, brother?
What's happening?
Hey. Peace.
I'm doing good. Bot knows I'm not good at introductions. I'm doing good. Thank you. How you doing?
I'm good, man. It's an honor and a pleasure.
It's honor's mine. I'm not the good at intros. I say them every week and they all sound bad, and Bach and them come up with some great stuff to say, and I feel like a crackhead. I don't know what I'm talking about.
Hey, so schoolboy, I'm gonna lead you into it, man, because Brother Bach has been cooking, and so what I wanted to ask you was, and I was talking about characteristics, not pit characteristics, but literally just the characteristics of the dogs that you like. And I want to bring up Big Red, like, you know, and the example I gave was my dogs. They do certain things that I like, you know, like they're relaxed, they're quiet until I need one of them to work. I want to hear more about Big Red's personality, just in general, like the things he did day to day when you weren't training at all.
Yeah. And by the way, Bach, you're doing a bang up job, man. From the beginning to now, you know, spot on.
Thank you, brother. Thank you very much.
You know, Bach didn't say this, but me and him think a lot alike. We did things a lot alike, even though we weren't in contact all through them years. You know, we knew each other, knew of each other, hooked up later. But you know, I just want to point that out. We think the same, and we did our dogs the same.
100%.
Big Red was when he wasn't doing what he was doing, he was just a mellow dog, good with kids. The girls would have tea parties with him and paint his nails. I don't even know if I want to say that because I don't like that kind of stuff. But he was a good house dog, but just a mellow type of dog. On the other hand, when he was turned on, he was it was like a Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, and he didn't have a good work ethic. And I think that was because of his intelligence. He didn't push himself. So I would have to do things to get him to get his heart rate up and his breathing up and all that. But personality wise, he just that type of dog, real people dog. Never met somebody he didn't like. He would have been easy to steal by anybody because he'd go with anybody. And we even took him to Disneyland one time, or more than once. But the first time we took him, back then they had kennels where you could kennel your dog. So I took him in there, and I told the girl, just leave him in the kennel. You don't have to feed him. He's been fed. Water him if you want, but don't take him out of the kennel. Because there's a bunch of dogs around and he might fire up. So I didn't tell her that part. And when I came back, she had him outside the kennel and she was petting him and stuff. He was behaving, and I was almost lost it, man, So she's hugging him, this and that, and, he had all these scars all on his face and everything. She's looking at him. She goes, where'd he get all these scars from? I said, he fell down, and she goes, oh, okay. Like that. But he was just that way, where he would real people oriented, in fact, one time we taken him to the vet, and you could have him pretty much loose, he was okay. And my daughter got out, and for some reason we lost track of my daughter, and where the vet was, he was a road, right? It was right next to a road, like out in the country, but like a 4-lane, so there's a lot of traffic. Not a 4-lane, a 2-lane, but a lot of traffic. So we lost track of my daughter. She starts walking towards the road. We weren't paying attention, man, and we ain't that way. Believe me, my wife is not that way. But we were busy getting the stuff out and fixing the car and all this stuff. And the kids, we had 3 kids. One of my daughters started walking toward the road, and she would have gotten the traffic, but Big Red walked over and just grabbed her by the diaper, pulled her in, He was just that way, intelligence. He pulled her away from the traffic so she wouldn't get hit. He understood the situation and took care of it on his own, And but that's just kind of the type of people dog he was, And most of my dogs were that way. The females had to be good mothers. I like girly type of females in that respect, because Bach will tell you, we like females. They're mean and nasty and rough and all that stuff. But other than that, when they're not in that frame of mind, they got to be good with kids. That's a marker of how good they'll be with their pup. For me, anyways,
Mine too.
Good with kids. Yeah, raise their pups, show their pups different stuff, whether they're wrestling with them or dominating them or backing off or whatever they do. Their influence to the pups is the mother. So the mother has to be sound, what I call sound, meaning, no freaky stuff, no timidity, outgoing, strong, built like a male. I prefer those types, and just, again, people oriented, good with kids, like that.
Yes, sir. Hey, so I appreciate that. And if y'all hear noise in the background, my son is coming to let the dogs out individually to go use the bathroom because I keep him in this little room I call the dog house in my new location.
Good.
But also Schoolboy and Bach. So I mentioned it to Bach earlier, and Bach said he's not coming to the States to deal with it. But Schoolboy, one of the things I like to do is, so Tom Garner kind of has the East Coast get together annually at his pig picking, right? But everybody wants to meet the legends, right? And I'm not gonna lie to you. When I be seeing people, with their pictures with their dogs kneeling next to people like you and Going Hard and Brother Bach, or well, not Brother Bach specifically, but like Rasta Man was out there, and these are things that when I'm 30 years from now, right? I want my kids to be like, hey, like my dad did that. He knew these guys, because I grew up. I want to share a story with y'all while I got y'all here publicly. I grew up in a town called Bladenboro, North Carolina. And the actual original name of that town was Bruceboro, North Carolina. Now, during Prohibition, our town was built on swamps. So what happened was the FBI and the SBI couldn't track the bootleggers through the swamps. So they brought in tons and tons of sand and built it up. And once they captured the notorious bootleggers from my area, they changed the whole name of the town to give no glory to those bootleggers. They wanted to eradicate the history of them, right?
Right.
And so this is why I need these pictures and this memorabilia from y'all. Schoolboy, I actually had that shirt that you got on. I bought that shirt to make sure I had something to celebrate y'all with, man.
Well, and, thank you. Appreciate it.
But I wanted to show the brothers that these legacies, you can't get them back once they're gone. This AI is not the same as meeting the person and understanding the man, right?
Right.
I'll never meet Earl Tudor. I'll never talk to Mr. Carl Mims again. I'll never meet some of the late greats. I'll never meet these guys, and it's fucked up that I didn't realize the importance of it until now. Because 10 years ago, when I first really got involved, I could have had the opportunity to go meet these guys. Even Mr. Boudreaux. Those of you guys who can make it to Mr. Boudreaux, get your ass down there and show love, because these dogs we have, I wouldn't have.
Right.
Oh yeah, definitely want to do it.
Yeah.
Definitely want to.
Yeah, I think we all go through that. Where we don't realize the significance of what we're doing or who we're around. When we're younger, or at an event or something like that. There's tons of people that where I was at a show, I didn't even know them. I didn't know who they were. And then years later, when we connect and I talk to them, they tell me who they were, and I followed their whole career. I know who they are. I just didn't know them back then, And you're right about the significance of it. You'll appreciate it 30 years from now. Your kids will. My kids trip over all this attention I get, because to them, I'm just dad. They know what I did. My son helped me condition dogs. He was heavily involved that way. And to them, the dogs were just dogs. They didn't know bloodlines. They still don't. But like you mentioned with your son, kids love dogs, and dogs are generally love kids. It's good that they're raised with dogs. But like my children who are now grown, it teaches them a work ethic as well, especially if they see what the dog does. And I don't mean in the past. I mean just exercising or their behavior, temperament. It has a lasting influence on children that they'll utilize whether they realize it or not when they're adults. And my daughter runs marathons. My kids, they can run 10 miles in 100-degree heat. They pump weights and work out. They work physical jobs. 2 of them do. The other one's a teacher with a master's degree. But that influence helped them through their life. Us too, mainly are their parents. But they get a lot of benefit from just being around dogs, because the dog is the one domestic animal that is most closely intertwined with humans. Been that way for a millennium. And it's our animal, the human's animal. It's the main one, the base of it, as far as domesticating animals or domestic animals. And there's a connection there, and there's a lot of similarities being family oriented and protective and motherly and all that stuff that kids pick up from the dogs. And like I said, whether they realize it or not, years later, it sticks with them. It's going to affect them. So I encourage everybody. It don't have to be a pit bull. And it's happening less now that children are not raised with dogs. But I encourage everybody to get a dog. I've even told people dogs better than a weapon sometimes to defend your home, because most people are afraid of dogs. And if you're asleep, the dog will wake you up before that intruder is even in your house. That's where right. Otherwise, if you don't have one, you might not wake up.
Right.
until they're on top of you. It don't matter. You have a gun there. If you
Yeah.
asleep, you know, it ain't gonna, you can't get to it. But the dog will let you know. The dog will defend you with his life if he loves you. And, you know, it's just so important, as far as I'm concerned, to be around dogs and have dogs, and more important for children, I think.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's solid facts, man. And so Going Hard said that's real life talk, and Mrs. McFarland said that's real life talk. So we appreciate that.
Yeah,
Another thing
and to answer the first part about getting together and all that, yeah, be down for that. You know, I'll you know, if you guys have an event or something, if I can make it, I'll be there. You know, Going Hard Twins have one. If I ever go to Honduras again, I better stop by Box House, or he'll never
That's a
forgive me.
definite. Yeah, that's a definite, right?
I've been there, you know, and I had a good time.
Oh yeah.
And you know, I've been to a lot of different places. Always treated well, always treated good. I treat people with respect, and they treat me the same way. And yeah,
right.
if you guys ever do something, if I can be there, like I said, I'll be there.
So Schoolboy, and Brother Box, Schoolboy, Brother Big A, I got to hit y'all with a grenade. Y'all know every week I throw out a grenade in the chat. Schoolboy, you have a registry.
Right.
All right. And so when I walk my dog in the mornings, this is no bullshit. I literally listen to the different chats and y'all's different videos. And, you know, I just listen to them. I go for 2-3 hour walk, or I'm riding the bike for an hour with my dog, but I'm listening to y'all. And one of the things I wanted to ask you, Schoolboy, is that how can I don't know if you want to do this or not, but I kind of want to broach the idea, and it is kind of putting you on the spot. How can I start a kennel club or a club within your kennel registry?
It would be, well, you know, we've done that before, you know, and really there's no requirement. It would basically be, you know, what do you want to do? I mean, you have to have members, you have to have you know, I don't know, you want to have dues like that, you know. Generally you pay a due, you know, the members do. It's just real hard to have shows unless you have a lot of money, and unless you have a lot of support. So I've done shows here in California, I've done shows in Mexico, and I've done shows, I mean, in Mexico and Michigan. And but to put shows together, it takes a lot, and you generally need help. And I don't mean to bag on dog people, but you don't get a lot of help sometimes, you know, because there's a lot involved. You have to rent a space, get the you have to get insurance for the venue. You got to buy all the trophies, tables, food. You know, it's almost like a one-man show because, like I said, you know, with me, it's a little different because I got family. I just grab my grandkids, take them with me. I got Angie and my daughter, whoever, you know, so we can handle a lot of that. And that's why you see some of these guys like T.L. Williams, they stop doing it. Not because it's not profitable, but which sometimes it ain't, but because it's labor intense, it's involved, and you need help. And I mean a lot of help, you know. We still do one every year in California, Southern California. We do one every year. But having a club like that, you know, it would just be a matter of, you know, I have certificates that I can make, you know, become an official club. I don't charge anything. I ain't like the other registry. I don't charge, you know. I've done shows where there's no part money or no money coming to me. It's all out of pocket. I'll do it. I might not repeat it, but I've done that. And I don't have, you know, club fees or anything like that. That would be the club itself. So you would set it up, you know, kind of like almost like a LLC. You know, you need a president, vice president, treasurer, like that, and then have people pay the dues. And, you know, if you get enough people, we can do a show, you know. And, you know, I'll fly out there, I'll judge, I'll do whatever I can. I donate stuff to raffle and all that, because there's different ways to make money. But just like these chats, you have to have content. You have to have something that people want, you know. And I think, not to get off track, but I think that's the reason why, my channel's successful, 78 Sports, Patreon, all that stuff, is because of the content we bring. And what's good about your show is it's kind of fresh, different angles. You're doing different stuff that's going to get people's interest, whether you have an online show or you have raffles or talk about, legal sports or whatever it is you're going to do. There's a lot of people that are involved with the breed, and we know we can't do what we used to do in the past. And I wouldn't encourage anybody to do that. And I don't want to come off that way, but there's a lot of stuff you can do with the breed. So whatever new ideas you come up with, just run with them. The ones that work, stick to them. The ones that don't, no harm, no foul. But keep doing what you're doing, because it is fresh and it's something a little different than anybody else is doing. Nobody's really kind of doing what you're doing. Right.
So I want to while I got the legends here in the chat, my brother Eli Monster is a legend to me as well. I want to give him a shout out. Schoolboy, what I'm getting at is Eli. This is why
that's Eli right there.
Yeah, that's Eli.
Yeah. What's going on with Eli Money? AKA the boxing professional.
Yeah, the monster man.
So Schoolboy Bach, Big A, the reason why I brought this up tonight was one of the things I've been looking at is I want to get incorporated, and I don't want to give the ideas I have. I'm an idealist, right? I'm a new age NBA player. I'm the first guy to go behind the back with a dunk type thing, right? And so I know that about my channel. But what I wanted to get with Schoolboy is I've been to the ADBA shows, and I know exactly what it costs. You have to have members, you have to have a separate account, and I've read their bylaws. Like, I'm a research individual. But what I wanted to get at was I want my digital dog shows to be incorporated with the International Coalition Registry. But I wanted to talk to you about it publicly, because one of the things I would like to do is I actually prefer to be a cameraman than a person on camera. So at the SoCal thing, if I can get my camera equipment under, I got Rode video mics. I got 3 different cameras, like, high level cameras, 4K, all this good stuff. And it's not getting utilized to get these brothers out there to the forefront. And that's why that's why I contacted y'all at 7-8, and and I wanted to get a hold of you brothers, because one of the things I want to do personally is I just want to have a club. I don't need to be my own registry ever, but I want to have a club here in Arizona, because I plan on settling here. I'm involved in the community. I'm a political leader from within and without the military, and I have influence on things here in Tucson. Tucson's one of the worst towns to live in Arizona, because it's so left. But I know that the influence of the big red dogs out here, and I really wanted to just find out from you what it would take for me to get incorporated. I do want my certificate. I do want all these things to celebrate the fact that I'm associated with building something new, because I think
for me, you just need a certificate, right? And then you could incorporate, and make sure you pay for your name and all that, keep it up every year and like that. And if you just, until you have your own shows, we could do the one in Southern Cal. It's kind of, it's not really a ICDR. It's not really my registry show, but it's represented there at the show. It's a kid named Alex. He puts the show on every year. So I help him out basically, and, but to do what you want to do. Yeah, I think we could do that. We'll talk more about it later, but
yes, sir.
You know what it takes to put on a show, and Tucson's kind of a good spot. It's close enough to Southern Cal where those people would go to it, and there's enough people in Northern Arizona and in what's the capital, Phoenix.
Yeah.
Then you have New Mexico. We've had people come to Cali from Philadelphia, from Texas. So you could get a lot, through your channel, you could get a lot of support of people just showing up, and being at the show, and then having, as long as it's, steady, that's what helps, because people look forward to it. There's some glitches.
Yep.
I'll talk about the glitches off camera, because
Yes, sir.
people are not always kind.
Yes, sir. And so the last thing I will say about it and all is, if we have that, with me being the younger, the way I was raised, I'm coming to Southern Cal. And that's what my Shogun Army is all about, is supporters that are fervent believers in the movement. I got 6 members right now that believe in the movement, and they're moving because they know that if they move with purpose, I'm gonna have their backs. And that's what it is. Yeah. I've been associated with organizations where if it wasn't for me, the organization wouldn't survive. So I want to be a part of your organization and push it to the next level.
Gotcha.
I also got to give a shout out to brother Larry Willis with the super chat. Tip. Hey, we appreciate you, my brother. Thank you so much.
Salute, Larry. Salute. Yeah. And you could even have it as part of your show. Do something. The digital thing is good. I think it could be sanctioned that way. If you want to do that, and then in-person shows too. You'll figure it out. You're more innovative than me. I'm just old and lazy. That's part of it too.
Yeah, but it's
I get involved. If I commit to something, I'm gonna go through with it. I'll say that. Whatever it is. I've traveled to Europe just to judge a fun show, one fun show, because I'm not an ADBA judge, just for a couple hours. That's all it took. But I was treated well, had a good time, talked to people, signed stuff. So that's my point. If I'm committed, I'll do it.
Yes, sir. Hey, so I'm not gonna run this show any longer than this hour and a half. I'm gonna give all you brothers a chance to plug y'all's respective things in there, and I got a couple of shout outs to give at the end of the show. But Brother Bach, Schoolboy, Brother Big A, y'all take y'all turns plugging y'all's information in. They kind of already know who you are, but just reinforce it.
Yeah,
okay. Go ahead.
Go ahead. Oh yeah, I'd just like to say, man, I'll send a shout out to everybody in the chat. Man, it's been a blessing to be, a part of this live tonight, man. Being on the panel, with legendary dogman. Man, I'm just blessed. I wish I could be a little more active, but I'm over here with my hands full. I'm working, and we behind, and I'm on this bad boy. But man, it is what it is.
Work comes first.
Yes,
anybody
sir.
wants to get a hold of me for registering dogs, or the merch I have, or books. I have books, t-shirts, breaking sticks, sporting dog journal reprints, and I'm always coming up with new stuff. I got my daughter's help, School Baby. Bach knows her.
Yeah, I do.
And just contact me on Facebook Messenger, or my email is all small letters, Richard J. Schoolboy 60 at gmail.com, or on Instagram. And I get messages every day. I try to answer them. I try to answer every message in my videos. Sometimes I'm a day late or a week late, but I will answer you. And I appreciate all the support. Thanks everybody for watching in the chat. Great panel. Have a lot of respect for the host and the members that are on this panel tonight. And thanks everybody.
Well, I like to say appreciate the invite again, brother. And it was also good being up here with the two other brothers that are here this evening. And like I said, the chat was pretty lively, as I could see in there. Did a lot of commenting, so I know they was in it. And we just really just appreciate the support all the way around, and that most of us are getting and all these different platforms. Try to keep things continue positively going in the direction that, especially this good young brothers pushing it. Again, like I said, we need good, new, innovative ideas, especially to help the breed. You know what I mean? To keep the breed. So many narratives are pointed at the negativity of the breed, and some of us around the world don't do a good job of maintaining with either they didn't bit a kid or killed somebody, or getting them to do other things that they shouldn't be doing. So to have any positivity that we can put on the breed is a plus, because it needs it. So everything, like Brother Rich was saying, of course, nobody here or on any of the platforms is trying to talk about any illegal dog fighting of the day. All of our stuff pretty much is historical accounts when it's talking about that stuff. But in terms of just like Richard was saying, there's other things that our dogs do besides wanting to hurt. They're great athletes and great family dogs as well. So again, keep up the good work. Keep up the good work, young brother. And it was a blessing to be here. And like I said, anytime you need me for anything, I'm willing to help in any way I can.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Eli asked, what's the name of my registry? It's ICDR, International Coalition Dog Registry. I don't have a website. The thing with mine is I try to keep everything private. All the information is private. If somebody wants to put their pets out there, or they want a dual register, that's their business. They can do it. But I don't give anybody's information out. I don't share pets, none of that stuff. That's just kind of the way I do it. It's not my business to put people's business out there. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it. It's just, that's the way I do stuff. Some people wouldn't appreciate it, and I can't say just because I have a registry, I do whatever the fuck I want. I can't do that. That's not right. So if someone gives me permission to do it, or they want me to share, I'll do it. But other than that, everything stays private.
Yeah, I love Richard's registry. Love it.
Bach, my biggest supporter, man.
I'm doing all of it.
He did everything,
Yeah.
And I've done, like Bach was saying about the breed, it's all inclusive. There's a lot of things that dogs can do. So I've tried to get as much experience outside of what I did in the past, whether it's judging shows, judging weight pools, hog hunting, French lure course, all the wall climb, treadmill race in all different parts of the world, and just promote the dog in a positive light. And if I can do that, then I would have done my job. But you have to have, even with that, you have to have some kind of experience of either judging them, seeing a bunch of them, or something, or else I wouldn't be able to give an honest opinion on it. Even my buddy in Panama, he had drugs and dog sniffing dogs, mostly males, but his top female, and she was the top female in all South America. He was a pit bull, Eli bred pit bull, had all kinds of honors, and she was the best of what she did. And he didn't do what we did with her, but she was a drug and bomb sniffing dog, and the best at it. And I've seen her work, man. It's amazing to see a pit bull do that kind of stuff, because you don't look at them that way.
Right.
Very intelligent, never missed a lick. She'd find whatever you want her to find, and it didn't matter. And she never gave up until she found it. So it speaks to the tenacity of the breed. Whatever they do it good.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hey, so I wanted to shout out my panel members that are not here, specifically because I got legends in the building, and I wanted my brothers to know I didn't forget about them. So shout out to brother M1, shout out to brother JT, shout out to brother 601, and shout out to brother Soul.
Shout out to the brothers.
Much
Shout
respect.
out to the Shogun, man.
Yes, sir. So with that being said,
Wait a minute. Excuse me. Hold up. Excuse me, brother. I
Go
think
ahead.
they asking my brother Richard, can he say his registry? Say the registry again, please. So
ICDR, International Coalition Dog Registry.
All right, yeah. And so what I'll do is, Schoolboy, I'll put it in the description once we finish the live. So when people watch the
Appreciate
rerun,
it.
they can check it out like that. And
Appreciate it.
but yes, I did want y'all to, Schoolboy, if you will, can you show me your shirt? Because that's the shirt I got. And I wanted y'all to see it. It's Champion Jeep on there, you know what I'm saying? And
I could just move the yeah.
and
I
I
got
kind of
okay.
yes, sir,
Yeah.
yes, sir. And then
Yeah.
also we got for sale right now the digital dog show shirt. If you cop the shirt, you're automatically entered in a raffle. My sister put up $200, so there's gonna be $100 winner for basically anybody who I see on the website who bought a T-shirt. There's gonna be a $50 winner, and that $50 winner is only gonna be for members. So there's only 6 members right now, so guaranteed one of you 6 will win the $50, and then there's gonna be 2 $25 winners for anybody who purchases gear throughout this month. Also during the lives, I'll do things like I'll reduce the price of the shirt so you can cop it for the low, for sure. But with that being said, my brother, if y'all got anything else that y'all need to put out there, the Schoolboy, I know you got your book. You didn't plug your book at all. You know what I'm saying? Any of that stuff, plug it on here, please.
Yeah, I got 3 books: The Big Red Handbook, Family Bred and Raised, and my newest one is called Dogs, Dogmen, and Bloodlines. I also sell my key. And like I said, just get a hold of me through those 3 venues. And I have like a series of T-shirts. Like Jeep is Foundation Dog. I also have a War Dog series. I basically have Jeep, Big Red, Zebo, my Champion Bill. Then I'll have some more. Homer. I'm gonna do Mr. Gray's Champion Bucky. It's a drawing. So it's I get around to stuff. I'm slow, but I'll get around to it.
Yes, sir.
And,
yes, sir.
Plus Garcia, he's been humble, but he has a Karma Sutra book coming out.
Hey,
give them
something to remember.
I'm old. I'm old. So if you're old, this book will help you out.
Okay.
And I got my model here. I got it right there. She don't want to come. She don't want to come in the spot, but one of these days I'll get Angie to say hi. She's old, but she's still cute. She's still cute.
That's right. That's right.
Miss Angie. Big salute to Miss Angie.
Thank you. Bach remembers her from back in the day, man. He
all day.
It's funny because we didn't really know each other. He came to my house for a show one time, and I treat people good, Bach respectful. Yep. One of the few. I'm gonna say this: anybody who's held conventions or you do whatever you do, back in the day, nobody helps you. That's why I'm saying, like the dog stuff, the shows. Nobody helps you, man. Bach was one of the few people. There's only 2 people that ever cleaned up after themselves. Bach was one of them. So Angie, my wife, she remembers that. That's been, I'm telling you, 35 years or something like that.
Yeah, that was 90.
Yeah. So there you go. 32 years, she still remembers it. That's how much of an impact it was, And she might even said he was cute or something. I don't know. I'm gonna yell at her right now.
I'm embarrassed to say. I'm embarrassed to say that y'all talking my whole life because I was born in 1990.
Okay, man. There you go.
Hey.
All right, man. You're the next generation, brother. You're gonna.
That's right.
Hey,
one thing I can say about you, I ain't mean to cut you. I still, like I said, got the utmost respect for your wife, man, because when Rascal. When he scratched and had the breaking stick in his mouth, and he was dying, and your wife, she just threw everything off y'all kitchen dining room table, bro.
Yep.
She threw that on the ground and just threw the sheet up and tried to doctor on him. And I'll never forget, she was the tears in her eyes, like damn.
Girls were crying. Yeah.
Yeah. I felt bad. I'm like, damn. We trying to see, But they could just see how game he was, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And he
died. He ain't lying. They were crying, man.
Yeah, they were.
She'll tear up when I'm a reminder now, that poor dog, But he was game, no doubt. Dead game. people are familiar with that term. You know, we talked about it, but he was one of the few that you'll ever see in that position. You know, don't happen too often.
That's true.
And man, last thing, Schoolboy, Brother Bot, Going Hard, any of the channels, if any of those guys in y'all's channels purchase things for y'all, y'all remember their name or their email, if you let me know, I'll put it, they can go in the drawing as well for the raffles.
Hey, wait a minute. Excuse me, you forgot. My brother Going Hard said the store www.goinghardkennelsreloaded.com. So don't forget about that, brother. They got some goodies, some awesome shirts and dog paraphernalia over there as well.
Yes, sir.
And if y'all
good people, man.
If y'all purchase those from any of the channels, because what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to aggregate funds to the fraternity. For those of y'all who don't know what aggregate means, I'm trying to keep funds within our group of friends. So if it's one of the channels that you're commenting on, we all in the same chats. I see all y'all in the same chats. If y'all go purchase from Mr. Garcia, just send me a screenshot that's saying that you purchased and you're in the raffle. All right. I want us. It's called Faragin. I shop with you. I shop with other brothers from the same fraternity. And that's what it is.
See, there you go. I never would have thought of doing something like that, man. I'm so far behind. I still ride a horse every day, you know. But that's awesome, man. That's awesome to do something like that. But that's the younger generation. No disrespect, they just got all these ideas, you know. And I'm tech stupid, but with all the you know, advanced technology, all this stuff. You making it work. You're going to figure out, you know, do this, do that, coming up with different stuff. You're going to leave us behind, you know, which is good. That's what you should do. You should advance. You should be better. It's kind of like when people talk about mentors, you know, I have this conversation all the time. A lot of the old heads, you know, they're proud. They have ego. They don't like to give stuff up sometimes. And I tell people, look, if you're a mentor to someone and your student doesn't become better than you, doesn't advance, then you wasn't a very good mentor. You didn't do your job. In that respect, as far as the dog's concerned, like that, your students should surpass you in whatever aspect of the breed it is. You know, it doesn't mean the old head, the mentor, ain't brilliant. They are. But if you have the ability to teach someone to be better, then that's one of the biggest compliments that a student can give to their teacher, you know.
Can I share a story with y'all real quick? Schoolboy, Eli Monster, Hard, Bot, Big A, because everybody I talked to is my senior, and I want to share this story with y'all specifically. So when I talk to y'all, I want y'all to understand the level of respect I have for y'all. My uncle's a preacher, and he told this story when I was 8 years old. I never forgot it. He said there was a kid. He was a pianist, and he had a piano teacher. He said the teacher would smack his fingers with a ruler when he messed up the chords. Yeah. So he went to a concert, and he was playing this concert, and he's playing, and the crowd stands up. They give him a standing ovation, right? And so he goes in the back, and he comes back out, and he starts playing again, and the crowd gets another standing ovation. And he goes in the back, and they give him another standing ovation. So he comes back out and he starts playing. He looks over at the crowd and abruptly stops midway through his third performance. And the crowd, they're asking, "Why did you stop? We were so excited." And he said, "I looked over, and my teacher smiled at me." And that was so profound to me because he didn't give a shit what the crowd was saying. He wanted to please the teachers.
It mattered that his teacher was impressed. Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
I wanted to share that story with the young brothers because, like, it's not you don't have to dick ride your teachers, but I'd be damned if you don't give respect to those who paved the way.
Big facts.
That's a great story. That's a great story. It's generational, you know. It has to be that way. How do you get improvement if it's not that way? And someone that put the time into that student, whether he was rough on him or whether he was quote unquote cruel or mean or whatever, he saw something in that kid that made him give him his time. And sometimes teachers don't say that. It's like with my kids. My daughter got a PhD, you know. I don't give her props all the time, but if we out in public, that's all I talk about. How brilliant my daughter is and how she's in child development and she's a teacher and a student and runs marathons and jumps out of trees, this and that. Now, I may not say that to her all the time because we have this thing in our family. We don't do that because then your head gets too big, you know. They don't idolize schoolboy because their mama taught them, man, you're going to give your dad a big head, man. You're never going to hear the end of it, you know. But around other people, they talk about me. They're proud of their daddy. They're proud of their mama. And I'm proud of my kid.
That's right.
Again, that teacher saw something in that kid for him to spend the time, even though he was mean. So don't let your ego get in the way. Don't let your pride block, you know, your future or get in the way of learning something. And you'll acknowledge them later. You'll understand. If you're young, you'll understand later, you know, why a mentor or a father or a mother did what they did, because you're going to be in the same situation at some point. And it might slap you in the face and, oh, okay, I get it now. I see why they did what they did. And, you know.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely, man. Shout out to my brother Tony M in the chat and shout out to brother Pelican Bay. But y'all brothers got to catch us on the back end because I got to get into this back chat with the big homies real quick before it gets too late and holler at them. Y'all, I'll be back on Sunday with my Sunday weekly wrap up. But until then, y'all brothers be safe and stay dangerous. Also, tomorrow I'm releasing my weekly interview of and it's about service dogs. I'm gonna holler at y'all. Insane Honey Badger, welcome to the chat as well. Insane Honey Badger. But yeah, y'all be safe and stay dangerous.
Peace.